What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mark of Mindful Reality TV from a mental health perspective. Yes, I'm still sick, but I'm not as sick as I was before. It's getting better, but I think that I need the weekend to be able to rest and catch up on sleep, etc. Because it's been just a whirlwind of missing my bus to go to Canada, then hopping on a flight, the flight actually being delayed by what's 9 hours, something like that. And then from there, basically getting into Canada, going right to this function for my grandmother, and then leaving the next day. Oh boy, it's been a rough go, but I mean, I had a great time. My grandma had a great time. That's the most important part. And I'm back in New York, and I went right back to work the next day. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. So we are going to dive into this challenge recap of episode 14. It was another good episode. So we started off the episode with a recap of the last episode, as we always have. And the recap shows Bananas stirring the pot with Michelle and Josh from the last episode when he was just like, I heard that you were getting mad at Josh for rooting for me in the elimination. And it showed that whole thing again. It showed how Michelle took out Olivia, and then she picked her 3 targets, which were Bananas, Josh, and Corey. Okay. It showed Bananas doing what he usually does, talking trash as he was coming back into the house. He was like, Michelle, you're not going to catch Target if you stand by us. It's not contagious. I was like Bananas joke because she picked him. She picked him, Josh, and Corey, and as targets, and she was standing across from them. So he's like, it's not contagious. You're not going to catch Target if you stand by us. It shows Banana saying that he always likes to push buttons. We know that. He said that he's liked to push buttons since he was young. He basically said he's used to people, throwing him in, doing things against him, wanting him to go home, that kind of thing in the challenge. So he said it's basically his mission. When somebody picks him, screws him over, or shows that they are against him, to just be really obnoxious and loud and make them annoyed and uncomfortable. And I think that he succeeds at that at every chance that he gets. And he was doing it again here. He was just talking and talking and talking. And I'm sure that Michelle was not appreciating that. But at this point, I'm pretty sure she was also expecting that. I think this was the next thing that happened, was that it showed Tori and Rachel having a discussion. Okay. There was 2 different things that happened. I have it a little bit out of order. Sorry about that. But Michelle said that she is now gravitating towards Derek and Cara Maria. It showed the 3 of them having a conversation. It's kind of weird because it's hard for me to really even tell who Cara's aligned with. Cara seems to have people gravitate towards her when they lose their people. Like, there's only so many people on there that actually seems to have chosen Cara from the beginning. Like, it seems that Rachel kind of chose Cara. It seems that, Ryan is her friend when Ryan was still on the season. But, obviously Polly was there at the beginning. But it seems like she didn't have a big group or like a big crew. Not that people were specifically against her this season outside of Laurel, but it just seems like when people lose numbers, like Corey, oh, now me and Cara are aligned. Or Derek is suddenly aligned with her and Michelle is suddenly aligned with her when they previously weren't. So, and then Tori, even Tori is kind of like, Kara's my friend. And I'm like, okay, this season is a little weird like that. But, anyways, it is what it is. Where are we at here? Okay, so it's showing Rachel saying that she needs to save Bananas and Josh. Rachel and Tori are having a conversation. They're saying that they have a mutual respect for each other, or I'm saying that they have a mutual respect for each other. Hi, Ma. But they're not necessarily working together. So they take these chess pieces. They're talking with the chess pieces and saying who's aligned with who. And Rachel tells Tori, I honestly would love to run a final against you, and we just settle it there. It's like I really like Rachel. Rachel is not intimidated by other strong women, and she seems to be like uplifting, even though she used to be part of the Mean Girls, and people still say, "Oh, I still remember when she was a mean girl." That's fine. I mean, it's true. She was at one time one of the mean girls, but obviously she has changed. She's different, and I'm all for people who change and grow. But it's so surprising to me every time I see this friendship alliance with Johnny Bananas, because, like I said, the first time I ever met Rachel was at a Challenge Mania event. I think I might have only met her that one time, actually. I'm saying the first time. No, I think I met her twice. And the first time I met her and she was on that stage, she was talking about the island and saying that Johnny is just a disgusting human being. And the franchise was doing a disservice by bringing him back, and that he should never have been allowed to be on the challenge again. She doesn't respect him. She was saying a lot. But it's interesting to see that they have mended those fences and now they're friends. John even made a funny comment. He was talking to her and they were talking about their friendship. Well, I'm skipping ahead, so let me slow down a little bit. So we get into this daily, and the daily is, one of the new age challenge classics, which is getting on top of the truck, jumping, swinging, hitting the targets. So Tarzan, aka Jordan, he's great at everything. I literally had that in my note. He's great at almost everything. He hits 12 out of 12 targets. Bananas hit 11 out of 12. He hit 12 out of 12. Derek, who is also exceptionally good, hit 12 out of 12 targets. The thing about Derek being underestimated is, I'm like, did you guys not watch All Stars 4? Because that was the last season of All Stars. And he was great in that and made a finals in that. So, I mean, I could understand underestimating the previous Derek, but Derek is better now than he was then, just like Janae. Ironically, like the two besties from the same season both got way better on All Stars. So, I mean, they're not targeting him. They're just kind of letting him walk his way to the finals, So, yeah. He ends up doing a sudden death. I think it was 6 targets apiece, and the truck goes a little faster. And he actually beat Jordan. So he was now in a position of power And he also kept himself. No, he didn't keep himself safe because he wasn't a target, so he was already safe. So it was more just the power to choose aspect. And on the women's side, on the women's side, Rachel ends up being the one who wins. So Rachel and Derek are the winners. The last place woman is Aviv, and the last place man is Josh. So that means Aviv gets a disadvantage going into the next daily, and Josh is going straight into the arena where he is going to face off against either Johnny Bananas or Corey. So this episode did not have a lot of suspense in that regard because Bananas is like, I don't put anything past anyone. Like, I don't fully trust anyone within this game. But me and Rachel have had each other's back, so I kind of trust her. Shows Rachel and Johnny having a conversation. And she's like, "You're a good guy, Johnny." He's like, "Oh, that's not the nicest thing anyone has said to me. My mom, any girl that I've ever dated." He was like, "Rachel, are we dating?" That was kind of funny. Yeah, so it's showing this relationship that they formed on the show on this season, and they have a talk about how they had a bad experience with each other. They showed a flashback to it of the island. He said that was the worst he's ever been. Basically, it was his darkest challenge hour, and he was, because I actually watched the island back. Forgot when it was, but a couple years ago, I think I looked back at the island. I think it was actually after she was talking about how terrible he was, and he was just calling women the B word, and he was just saying all kinds of stuff. A lot of the guys were, honestly, and it wasn't just a Bananas thing, but he was one of those culprits. But they spoke and they formed an unexpected bond. And she said it's hard for her because she likes Corey and she likes Bananas. Corey was saying it's kind of, he takes it a little personal because him and Rachel have always been good, and her bond with Bananas is new. But the reason why I can kind of understand why she would stick with what she was doing there is because, yeah, they've had a bond, but they weren't necessarily working together this season. And also, your goal there is to win the money. I mean, your friendship is your friendship, but you're going to go home to your family, and your family is not going to be happy if you choose your friendship over winning the money. I feel like, especially when you have a family and you leave your family to go do these shows. When I say have a family, I mean everyone has family, but I specifically mean like you're married or living with someone, like both of them are, and you have to talk to your partner and your kids and explain, this is what mom or dad is doing, and leave them for X amount of weeks or months. You're there to get the bag. So I understand her sticking with the guy who has literally won several eliminations, and each time never used her name as a target, and made it a point not to do that. So, and somebody's feelings are going to be hurt on a thing like this, on a season like this with so much history, because so many of them have so much history. So they're always trying to justify and like re-justify every decision they make. Oh yeah, I'm cool with this person, but I like this one, or this one I've had a long history with, but I've been working with this one. I'm friends with this one, but I'm better friends with this one. It's so complicated when you go into things with relationships with people. It really is. I wouldn't like that, to be honest with you. I would, if I had a choice to go on like a challenge season, with a bunch of people that are my friends to varying degrees, or to go on with people that I just don't know and we just make our friendships there, I'd prefer that, because then everything that I do would just be based on merits earned on that season, alliances formed on that season, instead of me having to think about what's going to happen outside of the house, or I was at such and such's baby shower and they're going to be mad if I pick them to go in. Once you throw the personal in there, it makes the game harder to play, in my opinion. So we go into the chamber, and Derek has said in the confessional, like, I would prefer to pick Johnny because you don't want to see Johnny in a final. He wins a lot of them, obviously. But he says, I'm just going to go with whatever Rachel says. So Rachel's decision is for Corey to go in. And she's like, it's hard because I like Corey and I like Josh. It shows a thing afterwards of, Corey, after being selected, or after being told that he was going to be selected, he made a call to Nelly T. So it's interesting because a lot of people have said the challenge didn't do anything for Nelson. The challenge did not promote him, help with his GoFundMe, whatever. They didn't help him with the insurance. But obviously, somebody in production decided to give him this montage. They have actually showed him, I think, more than once. This season, they showed different clips of him. I mean, they've showed clips of a lot of people. But yeah, they showed Corey calling him, and Corey had an emotional moment, and it was right before Nelson got his prosthetic leg. He said it's hard. He misses his leg. He showed his nub. He calls himself Nubby T. And Corey said that's all the motivation he needed. He's doing it for Nelson, and he's doing it for his daughters and his girlfriend. Another part that I forgot to mention was Rachel and Derek having this conversation about representation. And Rachel was basically telling Derek it's more impressive for you to be somebody who is out in this kind of climate versus when she came out way earlier, like before he did years ago. And she was basically saying, we did this for the community. Like, both of us winning is a win for the community. And she said that representation is important. Derek was having a couple of conversations with people. Like, he had a conversation with Cara Maria, where she was basically telling him, good for you for winning. People are underestimating you. And they did this like manly challenge that people didn't think that you would have any chance of winning, and you hit all the targets. And even TJ, when Derek won, was like, who I would never have thought that you would be like beating Jordan heads up. You would be the one to take out Jordan in one of these challenges. So that was a moment that they had. And then they showed actually a montage of all of the people who are in the LGBTQ community. Not all of them, but several people over the years. They had recent ones like Corey Lay. They had, they showed, what's her name? Evelyn. They had Anissa on there. They had just a big Frank. I know why they put Frank on there, but anyways, I don't like Frank, but it's not related to his orientation. He just wasn't a good guy on the show, and it's rumored that he will come back for All Stars 5. That's neither here nor there. So we get into this elimination, and It's like an elimination where they're running. They thought it was a hall brawl at first, but it's like they're running. There's a hay bale. You get a point by either ringing the bell first or knocking the other person out of bounds. You get 4. It's first to 4 wins. I think that. So Corey won. I know that was just out the gate, but looked like a very easy win for him. Faster, stronger, more coordinated. Everybody feels bad for Josh at this point. Like, it showed them in the confessionals, like, I know how bad Josh wants it. Josh is a good guy, this and that and the other. It's not even being mean to say Josh is just not good at the challenge. It is what it is. Whether you hate him, like him, love him, he's not good at the challenge. He brings the drama. He has a half decent social game. He does have a lot of friends. The friends keep him protected, but he's just not good at the challenge. Like, I see some of the things that he does on his social media. I probably couldn't do half of that Ninja Warrior CrossFit type of thing that I see him doing. He's gotten himself in great shape, but you can be in like, he's just not coordinated. He's not athletic. Like, he's fit. To me, there's a difference between being fit and being an athlete. And he's not an athlete. He's just like, he has an athletic build. And he has a good endurance base because of doing like CrossFit type of stuff. So I don't know. Some people say they don't want to see him back. It's like, I don't mind seeing him on the challenge, but he's just one of those people that I would be surprised if he won. I really would. That's not even a hating comment. I feel bad for the guy at this point. I really do. But I'm also like, I don't feel that bad. You're still making good money to get on these shows. You get a lot of calls when a lot of people don't get calls. You won Big Brother. I don't think your life is that bad, but I just feel bad in terms of, you get on a show and he says it means so much to him. He wants to compete, but he keeps losing. So that's what happened. Corey comes back. Corey picks Jenny, Aviv, and Michelle as targets. TJ is basically like, Michelle, what's going on? Everybody seems to be having something against you. And she's like, well, when you keep going into eliminations, you have to say names, even if you don't want to. And that's what happened. I had to say names, and people are going to be mad, and that's what it is. So that's where we're at. Josh picks his karma votes. He says that Rachel, Johnny, and Tori are getting 5 stars and everyone else is getting 1. That's actually really strategic. Everyone else seemed to have no real rhyme or reason to their picks. That actually seems to make sense. And here we are. I don't know how many weeks we have left, but it seems like they're probably getting pretty close to the final. They're more than halfway. And it was another good episode. It was a little anticlimactic, but it was a good episode. I liked it. I love seeing those old clips. Like, the nostalgia of everything is not lost on me. Somebody who is a newer challenge fan those clips might not even do anything for them, but that Hunter clip in the beginning, they made sure to keep showing that picture of the bananas backpack. Like, I love that wall. I love seeing the clips going back in time of Rachel and Derek. I liked when they were talking about the representation, everything. Like, this whole episode, it wasn't the best episode in terms of the drama or in terms of the competition itself, but fun episode, enjoyed it. And I look forward to next week. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thank you for your support. And I hope everyone has a good evening.